There's a practical side to Shakespeare's magic, and in the final acts of Midsummer Night's Dream, the pace accelerates, leading to these clever maneuvers like character doubling. So let's look at how these physical choices on stage lead us directly into the play's core philosophy regarding the power of the imagination.
And then Oberon comes in and explains off stage, weirdly enough, that he's got his child back, the child that he really wanted. And so it's time to wake Titania, and she says, "Oh, I had a strange dream." And so this is where the you could do Oberon and Titania becoming Theseus and Hippolyta with a quick, Katy Perry esque, if you've seen her concerts, which I'm sure you have, scene change, quick costume change. Titania and Oberon can become Theseus and Hippolyta right here. Exeunt with a bit of wind horn. Maybe make this go on for 15 seconds or so until Theseus and his train can enter again. And there we have it. There's lots of doubling in Shakespeare, so why not double the parts as well? Presumably Shakespeare did, of course, as they did in the Greek theater. This might act as a sort of choral line for the whole play. I never may believe these antique fables nor these fairy toys, lovers and madmen have such seething brains, such shaping fantasies that apprehend more than cool reason even comprehends. The lunatic, the lover, and the poet are of imagination all compact. That's a line the Greeks could never write, because this is very much steeped in the kind of humanism of the Renaissance. Are of imagination all compact. One sees more devils than vast hell can hold. That is the madman. The lover, all his frantic, sees Helen's beauty in a brow of Egypt. The poet's eyes, a fine frenzy rolling, doth glance from heaven to earth, from earth to heaven, as in imagination bodies forth the forms of things unknown. The poet's pen turns them to shapes, and gives to airy nothing a local habitation and a name. Such tricks hath strong imagination, that it would but apprehend some joy, it comprehend some bringer of that joy, or in the night imagining some fear, how easy is a bush supposed a bear. I mean, so many of the themes of Midsummer Night's Dream are all encapsulated here, but it's Theseus who acts as a sort of chorus of, in some ways, the Dionysian rite of comedy, which is comedy is a sort of thought experiment in some ways of turning everything into a world of dreams and fancy, because that's how one works through love and desire. And it can't follow the Apollonian, reasonable, civilized way. It must go into the dark forest of Arden, as it were. And so the rest of the action really is, what play shall we hear? It's interesting that the mechanicals think that their play is going to go on, but in fact, as Philostrate says, there's all sorts of things, and you get to choose. It's kind of sad that all these poor bastards rehearsed these plays, it's the battle with the centaurs, sung by an Athenian eunuch to the harp, the riot and the tipsy bacchanals, the twice three muses mourning o'er the death of learning, late deceased in beggary. All of these are very kind of funny Rabelaisian jokes or James Joyce type jokes. And then we have the tedious brief scene of young Pyramus. And of course they would reject that one, but Theseus on a whim just decides, let's have a listen to that. Never anything can be amiss when simpleness and duty tender it, Theseus says. And so they throw on this play. The interjections I find, the play itself is so funny, it doesn't really require much comment, but I like the interjections here. So Theseus says his speech was like a tangled chain, nothing impaired but all disordered.
So even as Theseus critiques this tangled chain of the mechanical's performance, he reminds us of the power of the poet's eye. It's the imagination that amends these shadows, turning a frantic dream into a local habitation and a name.